Now at 5, a caution about farm vehicles on roadways across the 4 states. Plus, what brought the CEO of the Children's Miracle Network to Joplin today, and
President Trump doubles down on his tariff threat targeting Russia if no deal is reached to end the war in Ukraine. I'm Erica Brown with more on the president's ultimatum and Russia's response.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Authorities have arrested an Oklahoma man accused of scamming an elderly Lamar, Missouri resident out of hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. The suspect is this man, Ravi Amaniganti of Edmond, Oklahoma. Barton County, Missouri investigators believe he scammed the victim by claiming to be an employee of the Federal Trade Commission. Court documents say Amaniganti told the victim their bank account had been compromised, and if the victim did not provide him with all of their money, it would be lost or stolen. Authorities say the victim provided Amaniganti with 4 money transfers starting just last month. One was for $25,000 via a Bitcoin machine in Joplin. Then 3 times the victim was instructed to give various amounts of money to a man who would show up in a car at the victim's home. Those 3 transactions totaled an additional $235,000. Authorities say they arrested Amaniganti as he was leaving the victim's home with $85,000. Children's Miracle Network's president Amy Daly is visiting the Freeman Health System and Sam's Club in Joplin. She toured the Natal Intensive Care Unit and spoke with doctors and nurses who worked with children.
Both sides of the coin, because the hospitals are the ones that are doing the work. They're providing the care. But the corporate partners in our programs are where the money's being raised. And so this trip is such an absolute combination of both of those things that I get to walk from seeing the care in action to seeing the money raised that's helping that happen, and see the frontline employees who are out there doing it, whether it's providing the care or providing the encouragement for the community to raise money.
The visit is because the local CMN won a contest called National In-Flight Challenge. Encounter heavy farm implements like tractors and combines going in and out of roadways. Well, the Kansas Highway Patrol is reminding motorists that these vehicles are larger than the lane of traffic and aren't designed to travel at normal highway speeds. They say you should take caution when sharing the roadways, especially on busy rural roads and unmarked intersections.
Do not pass if you're coming up on a curve or a hill or a bridge. And if you are in that straight, flat area to where you think it's safe to pass, make sure that you can see in front of your vehicle, but also be able to see in front of that equipment in front of you.
Officer Bowles also says the best solution is to always be aware of the surroundings and give yourself plenty of time. Let's check in with meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney now for our first look at the weather.
Well, we've had a couple of isolated showers earlier in the afternoon, but most of that is out of our area. We're left with a couple of just lower level clouds through the area, but overall pretty nice evening. Now temperatures are currently about 90 degrees, but it feels like upper 90s, if not near 100. So our heat index is still pretty high today, and it's just going to continue on growing as we get a little bit later into the week on Wednesday, with our temperatures getting to about 93. Our heat index value for most of us in the low hundreds. Now we've got a break on Thursday because we do have storm chances Wednesday night into Thursday. That's going to keep us a bit cooler, but we go back to the heat for the weekend on Friday and even higher on Saturday. Now tomorrow, remember, temperatures in the low 90s, high heat index, and storms after midnight. I'm going to have those details coming up.
Catch you soon. President Trump is in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to announce a new investment in the state's energy and artificial intelligence sectors. On the international front, the president's latest deadline for Russia to reach a ceasefire deal with Ukraine is getting mixed reviews even in his own party. Erica Brown has the latest now from Capitol Hill.
President Trump arrived in Pittsburgh Tuesday afternoon for an energy and innovation summit, unveiling a $90 billion private sector investment in Pennsylvania to expand its energy and AI capabilities.
Today's commitments are ensuring that the future is going to be designed, built, and made right here in Pennsylvania and right here in Pittsburgh, and I have to say right here in the United States of America.
Before he left, the president discussed his new ultimatum for Russia if a peace deal to end the war with Ukraine is not reached within the next 7 weeks. The president has threatened to impose 100% tariffs on countries that buy oil and gas from Russia, including China and Brazil.
Well, at the end of 50 days, if we don't have a deal, it's going to be too bad.
The president also pushed back against a report that he privately encouraged Ukraine to step up strikes launched in Russian territory, allegedly asking President Volodymyr Zelensky if Ukraine could hit Moscow.
No, he shouldn't target Moscow.
The president's ultimatum is being met with some skepticism from his own party, with some Republican senators concerned about how both Russian President Vladimir Putin and China will respond.
The 50-day delay worries me, and that Putin would try to use the 50 days to win the war.
You have a 30% tariff, and then you add to it a 100% tariff. What do you think that means? No trade with China.
Russia rejected President Trump's ultimatum, calling it unacceptable, pushing for continued negotiations instead, and said its invasion will continue until Moscow achieves its goals. Erica Brown, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
President Trump also announced a trade deal with Indonesia today, saying it'll pay 19% tariffs on goods imported into the U.S., while the United States will pay no tariff on goods sent there. Still ahead, you might have to dig a little deeper into your bank account.
Inflation hit its highest level since February. I'm Kelly O'Grady with what's pushing up prices.
But for sniffing out the mold in your home with the help of a talented dog, that's just ahead in Health Watch. Topping today's Health Watch, people taking popular weight loss drugs still need to exercise and manage their diet. Research published in JAMA says doctors need to discuss fitness plans with people using GLP-1 drugs, especially because the drugs cause people to lose lean muscle as well as fat. Another reason to continue diet and exercise is that many people regain 7 to 12% of the weight they lost after discontinuing the drugs. Tens of millions of people worldwide don't have access to life-saving surgery. A study by the University of Birmingham says at least 160 million patients each year are unable to get surgery, especially in low and middle income countries. And recent cuts to global health funding threaten to make the problem even worse. The study authors say access to safe, affordable surgery shouldn't be seen as a luxury. Women who work night shift jobs have a higher risk of irregular periods, hormone imbalances, and can even experience negative impacts on their fertility. A study on mice presented by the Endocrine Society says the light exposure that comes from working the night shift disrupts the body's internal timing. The study also noted, however, that the negative effects of night shift work don't affect everyone. Home inspectors can often detect mold that's visible, but what if it's not? Christian Benavides introduces us to a dog that's sniffing out potentially harmful mold that might not be seen by the human eye.
At this home in Jupiter, Florida, Indy, a 1-year-old Labrador retriever, is on the hunt, searching for something that's not visible but can make people very sick.
He was trained to detect 16 different kinds of mold. He will go through the house, and when he smells it, he's going to sit down. I'm going to ask him to show me, and he's going to point his nose. Show me.
Zanita Cuzel is Indy's owner and founder of Mold Hunt, a company using dogs to detect potentially harmful mold. Cuzel started the company after she developed pneumonia from hidden mold at a home she purchased, despite getting the necessary inspections.
It's not just my case. There are so many cases like this.
Melissa Naman owns this home and rents it out as an Airbnb. She hired Mold Hunt to look over her property to keep guests safe.
There was nothing detected when I had a home inspection when I purchased the property.
So we're going to find out.
We're going to find out.
Indy got right to work, identifying some areas of concern that Naman plans to address, but says didn't come up in the original home inspection. That's something she often sees as a realtor.
I have clients that have purchased a home and found mold after the fact.
Mold can be dangerous, even deadly. Symptoms include sneezing, coughing, congestion, and eye irritation, though people can have more severe reactions the longer it goes untreated. Over the years, dogs have been trained to detect everything from drugs to explosives, even COVID-19. Canine accuracy can range from 75 to 90%. This job gave Indy a second chance at life.
Indy was originally returned to his breeders because his first owner said he was too high energy, but in this job, he's found a purpose.
Indy underwent an intensive 3-month training program.
He needs a purpose. He needs to work. He's really happy doing it.
Sniffing out what may be lurking out of sight. Cristian Benavides, CBS News, Jupiter, Florida.
Water damage is the cause for most mold problems. The EPA recommends drying water damage areas within 24 to 48 hours to prevent mold growth. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, the results of record rainfall in the northeastern United States.
And we have a heat wave coming this week. I'll have those details coming up. Well, we've had a warm day. It's just going to get even hotter later this week. Let's go ahead and take a look at our current conditions out in Pittsburgh. About 91 degrees. Mostly sunny, as you can see, but the heat index, what it feels like outside, is 100 degrees. So it is getting pretty hot. Getting that time of year where we're going to start to see that heat index spike and might even start to see heat advisories be issued, especially later into the week and even over the weekend. Now, winds are pretty light. Those are going to start to pick up tomorrow as well when we have thunderstorms approaching. But right now, we're looking pretty good for tonight and through most of the day on Wednesday. You can see, even taking a look outside, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort out in Seneca, Missouri. A few clouds out there, but overall just a really nice night. Temperatures are going to drop down from the upper 80s to the upper to mid 70s overnight. Clear skies again. Now, like I said, we do have some storms approaching on Wednesday, specifically Wednesday night. Isolated chances as it moves into the region. We've got this marginal risk. So that's only a level 1 out of 5 risk on Wednesday, and that's going to be after midnight Wednesday. And then all day Thursday we'll have scattered storm chances, but you can see we don't have a marginal risk for storms on Thursday. That could change, but right now we're only looking at this brief window right when these storms approach the area. So as we head through the afternoon and on Wednesday, we get pretty high wind gusts, 20-25 miles per hour out of the south ahead of the front that's approaching late Wednesday night. So here we are, 11 p.m., still mostly clear. But if you look out to the northwest, we are going to see clouds pushing in, and then our front approaches, and we have a gust front. So this is where we've got that marginal risk for storms. As that storm approaches, the wind gusts along that boundary is where we're going to see the highest gusts that we could see that causes that marginal risk. Once we get past this initial wind gust threat, this is 3 a.m. on Wednesday, we're mostly left with just scattered thunderstorms that start to taper off by 8 a.m. on Thursday. That front retreats, but then returns when Thursday afternoon, early afternoon around 12 to 1 p.m. where we're looking at a couple isolated storms right along that boundary. So you can see here where our southerly winds meet our northerly winds right along where those storms are developing. This is now 1 p.m. on Thursday. So we're seeing a couple storm chances there throughout the day on Thursday. And then we're just right back to the heat Friday and especially on Saturday. So Friday, our heat index is what it's going to feel like outside because of humidity and actual temperatures. Going to be in the upper 90s, about 99 in Joplin, Neosho, but 100 out in Kansas and Oklahoma. And then on Saturday, it's going to be well over 100 for a few of us, 103 in Nowata, Grove, even 104 Fort Scott, Nevada, and Stockton. So we could definitely see a couple heat advisories be issued on Saturday with our actual temperatures being in the mid 90s. Got a couple more pop-up thunderstorm chances next week, and then temperatures just really ramp up from here.
Yeah, and it'll feel even hotter than it is.
Oh yeah.
Lindsay, thanks. Parts of the Northeast are drying out after deadly flash flooding. Record-breaking torrential rain inundated the New York City area last night, pouring into subways, submerging roadways, and leaving drivers stranded. The dangerous system dumped more than half a foot of rain in Scotch Plain. Some major roads just north of New York City are still closed, submerged underwater. Coming up, the numbers from the newly released inflation report. Up next on the CBS Evening News, how a smartphone app is helping immigrants get to work with a little less fear of ICE. Then on KOAM News at 6, local authorities raised the reward amount for information concerning the shooting deaths of 5 dogs. Plus, we're going to hear from a local farmer about the challenges as farm vehicles have to share the road with drivers, and details of the extension the Chiefs gave today to a star offensive lineman. Stay with the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Hey, don't forget you can be the first to know about today's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. You can get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone. It's absolutely free of charge. You'll find it in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Might as well get it right now. The KOAM Skywatch weather app. Let's check in with Lindsay now for another way you get the weather, and that is live on television.
Yes, it is. Well, we do have a couple of storm chances over the next couple of days. Wednesday late after midnight into Thursday morning. We don't have a big severe risk for that. We could see it kind of inch up as we get a little closer to the event before it happens. But right now, just looking at a wind threat after that, mostly the heat that we're going to focus on this weekend, especially Saturday. It's going to be a really hot day.
Of course, that is more typical for this time of year than all the rain we've seen this summer.
It is.
Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. See you then. Let's make it a great evening.